Heart. Listen, if you ever gotta chase peace, it ain't love. The right one will bring peace, not problems. Heart. You just gotta stop confusing chemistry with consistency. All right, listen up, because this one right here is gonna hit some people deep. Heart. See, everybody talks about love like it's some kind of movie, like it's supposed to be fireworks, long texts, surprise gifts, romantic dinners, hark, and all that sweet talk. But real love is quiet, simple, and deep. Heart. It's not about how loud someone says, I love you. It's about how they show up when life gets quiet, when the lights are off. Heart. When you're not at your best, that's when you find out who really loves you. Because a person who truly loves you will always ask you two questions. And those two questions tell you everything you need to know about their heart. Now, before I even tell you what those questions are, you got to understand something about love. Love is not complicated. People are. We bring our fears, our egos, our pride, our expectations, and we mix it all up until something that was supposed to be simple turns into a test. But at its core, love is understanding. Love is service. Heart. Love is seeing somebody's soul and saying, I'm not going anywhere. You know, when someone truly loves you, heart, they're not just interested in what you have. They're interested in how you are. They care about your peace, your health, your dreams, your spirit. Heart. They don't just want to be around when everything's good. They want to stand beside you when life feels heavy. Heart. And that's where those two questions come in. Because someone who truly loves you, they'll look you in the eyes and ask, heart, are you okay? And what can I do to help? Simple questions, right? But they mean everything. Heart, are you okay? That's not just small talk. That's the language of empathy. It means I see you. I sense something. Heart, I care enough to ask. And what can I do to help? That's the language of action. That's not love in theory. That's love in practice. Heart. That's someone saying, I'm not just watching you struggle, I'm stepping in. See, we live in a time where everybody says, I love you, but very few people back it up with presence. Heart. Love ain't about saying it when you feel good. It's about showing up when the other person doesn't. Heart. A person who really loves you won't just want to be there for the celebrations. They'll want to understand your silence. Heart. They'll want to sit with your pain. They'll notice the small changes. When you start smiling less, talking less, heart, losing that spark in your eyes. And they'll ask, are you okay? Might sound simple, heart, but it's one of the most powerful questions in the world when it's asked with sincerity. Because it's not about getting a quick answer. It's about opening the door to your heart. People who don't love you only care about your surface. They only check in when it benefits them. But the ones who truly care, they want to know what's going on beneath the surface. Heart, they're not just listening to your words. They're paying attention to your energy. Heart. And then there's that second question. What can I do to help? That's the question that separates real love from convenience. Heart. Because a lot of people will say, I'm here for you. But when you actually need them, they disappear. Love isn't proven by promises. Heart. It's proven by effort. The person who loves you won't just talk about being there. They'll show up. Heart. They'll take off the weight you've been carrying alone. They'll find ways to make your life lighter, not heavier. And I don't mean help like money or gifts. I'm talking about emotional help, spiritual help, mental help. Sometimes, heart, what can I do to help, means listening without judgment. Sometimes it means praying with you or for you. Heart. Sometimes it means reminding you who you are when you've forgotten. That's what love does. It restores you. You ever meet someone who just gets you? Heart. Someone who doesn't need a lot of words to understand you. That's because real love has intuition. When someone loves you deeply, heart, they feel your emotions even when you're not saying anything. They can sense when you're tired, when you're anxious, when you're distant. Heart. They don't wait for you to explode. They reach out before it happens. And that's when those two questions show up. Hot. Now let me tell you something. Love that doesn't check on you isn't love. Because love cares. It pays attention. Heart. It notices your silence louder than your words. If someone can go days, weeks, or months without asking how you're doing, heart, then you're not a priority. You're just an option. Because when someone truly loves you, your well-being matters to them. Heart, your peace matters to them. They don't just want to be in your life, they want to make your life better. And here's the truth. You can tell how much someone loves you not by how they act when things are easy, heart, but by how they respond when you're not okay. Do they get distant? Do they blame you for being emotional? Do they make it about them? Heart. Or do they slow down and ask those two questions? Because love doesn't run from your pain, it runs toward it. See, love is not about possession. Heart, it's about presence. A person who truly loves you will show up in ways that words can't explain. They'll notice your mood shifts, heart. They'll check on your heart, not your appearance. They'll value your comfort over their convenience. That's love. It's quiet, it's patient, heart, it's consistent. When you find that kind of person, don't take them for granted, because people like that are rare. Heart, most folks today love what you give, not who you are. They love the way you make them feel, not the way they make you grow. But real love is different. Heart, real love doesn't ask, what can I get from you? It asks, heart, what can I give to you? And those two questions, are you okay? And what can I do to help? They're love's way of saying, heart, I'm choosing you even when you're not perfect. It's saying, heart, you don't have to go through this alone. That's what makes love sacred. It doesn't just show up when it's easy. It stays when it's hard. I've seen people chase relationships that look good on the outside, but were empty on the inside. Heart, because what's the point of being loved publicly if you're neglected privately? What's the point of someone posting you online, buying you gifts, heart, or saying sweet things, but never asking how your heart feels? Love is not a performance, it's a promise. If someone truly loves you, heart, they'll be curious about your soul. They'll want to know your triggers, your fears, your past. They'll ask what makes you smile, what makes you cry, heart, what makes you feel alive. Because to them, understanding you is part of loving you. And you'll feel it not in grand gestures, but in those small, heart, consistent check-ins. You ever been around someone who gives you peace just by being there? That's love. It's not loud, but it's steady. Heart, it doesn't shout, but it shows up. And when you have that, you realize that love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone present. Someone who's emotionally tuned in enough to say, heart, hey, you've been quiet lately, talk to me. That right there, that's love. The funny thing is, heart, most people don't recognize those questions for what they are, because we've been conditioned to look for love through romantic gestures, flowers, heart, gifts, trips, dates. But the truth is, the real proof of love comes in how people treat you when there's nothing to gain. When you're sick, heart, when you're stressed, when you're struggling. That's when, are you okay, becomes the most beautiful sentence in the world. Heart, and don't get me wrong, love isn't perfect. People get tired, they get busy, they mess up. But when it's real, heart, they'll always come back to check on you. Real love doesn't ignore, it doesn't dismiss. It doesn't stay silent when it knows you're hurting. Love listens, love acts. Sometimes, heart, what can I do to help, isn't even about fixing the problem. It's about letting you know you're not alone in it. It's saying, heart, I can't take away your pain, but I can sit in it with you. That's powerful. Because sometimes, heart, the best help isn't solving, it's showing up. And you know what else? Those two questions go both ways. Heart, if you love someone, really love them, you'll ask those same things too. Love is not a one-way street. Heart, you'll want to know if your person's okay, even when they say they're fine. You'll want to lighten their load, even when they don't ask for it. Heart, because real love is mutual care. It's two people looking out for each other's hearts. The world teaches us to chase chemistry, attraction, heart, status. But what you should really be looking for is emotional safety. That's what those two questions bring. Because when someone asks, heart, are you okay? You feel safe enough to be honest. And when they ask, what can I do to help? You realize you don't have to face life alone. That's love that heals. A person who truly loves you won't make you beg for attention. They won't make you compete for effort. Heart, they'll give it naturally because your happiness matters to them. They'll check on you not because they have to, but because they want to. Heart, that's the difference between someone who loves you for real and someone who just loves the idea of you. Heart, so many people miss real love because they're too focused on how love looks instead of how it feels. But the truth is, love feels like peace. Heart, it feels like coming home. It feels like someone finally understands your silence. It feels like those two questions, simple, sincere, consistent. Heart, because when a person truly loves you, they'll never let a day go by without checking your heart. Heart, they'll never let you drown in your thoughts without reaching out. And even when they can't fix it, they'll remind you that you're not alone. Heart, that's the kind of love that lasts, not the one that looks good in pictures, but the one that stands strong in private. Heart, love isn't proven in the first few months when everything feels exciting. It's proven in the moments when things get hard, when communication slips. Heart, when life gets messy, when both of you are tired. That's when those two questions become the glue. Are you okay? Keeps the heart open. Heart, what can I do to help? Keeps the connection alive. The truth is everybody wants to be loved, but not everyone wants to love like that. Heart, because that kind of love takes effort. It takes humility. It takes putting someone else's needs before your comfort. Heart, but when you love like that, when you choose to care deeply, to check in sincerely, heart, to act with compassion, you'll never have to question if your love is real. Because love that asks, love that listens, heart, love that helps, that's love that lasts. And the person who loves you like that, they're a blessing. Protect them, appreciate them, heart, and love them back with the same depth. Because real love, the kind that asks, the kind that shows up, heart, the kind that helps, that's once in a lifetime. Now, if you ever want to know who really loves you, heart, stop listening to the promises and start paying attention to the questions. Heart, because love doesn't always sound like, I love you. Sometimes it sounds like, are you okay? Sometimes it sounds like, heart, what can I do to help? And that's when you'll know this right here, this is real. Because at the end of the day, heart, love isn't about who says it the most. It's about who proves it the quietest. And the ones who ask those two questions over and over without being told, those are the ones who truly, deeply, unconditionally love you. All right, let's slow it down and get real for a moment. See, heart, love is one of those things everybody talks about, everybody dreams about, but very few people actually understand. Heart, people throw the word love around so easily. They say it in text, they say it when they're happy, they say it to fill silence. But real love, heart, real love is a whole different level. It's not just about what you say, it's about what you do when it matters most. Heart, because when somebody truly loves you, you'll know it not from the sweet words, heart, but from those quiet questions that come from the heart. Are you okay? And what can I do to help? Now let me tell you why those questions matter more than all the romantic stuff you see online. Heart, you can post each other, go on vacations, dress up, take pictures. But none of that means anything if when you're hurting, heart, the person beside you doesn't even notice. You can have 100 compliments a day, but when life hits you hard and you're sitting in silence, heart, wondering if anyone cares, that's when you'll find out who's real. Because real love always notices. Real love always checks in. See, the world today has trained people to focus on attraction, not attention, passion, not patience. Heart. But love isn't just about what happens when you're smiling. It's about what happens when you're breaking, when you're tired, drained, or lost. And the person who truly loves you sits beside you and asks, heart, are you okay? That one question has the power to heal something deep inside you because it tells you, I see you. I care about you. Heart, I'm not too busy to check on your heart. That's the kind of question that can pull someone back from the edge. Heart, you'd be surprised how many people are walking around looking fine but feeling empty. They're carrying so much, but nobody asks. They give heart. They show up. They love everyone around them, but no one stops to ask, hey, how are you really doing? That's why when someone does, Heart. It hits different because love that listens is rare. Love that checks in without being asked. That's sacred. And then there's that second question, heart. What can I do to help? That one right there is the real test of love because it separates those who say they care from those who actually care. Anybody can say, I'm here for you. But love doesn't just talk, love acts. When someone says, heart, what can I do to help? They're telling you, I'm ready to carry some of your load. Heart, I'm not going to stand by and watch you struggle. I'm going to step in. See, when you truly love someone, heart, you can't just sit still knowing they're in pain. You can't be comfortable when the person you care about is falling apart. Heart, you'll want to do something, even if it's just sitting beside them in silence. Sometimes love isn't about fixing. It's about feeling. It's about saying, I might not have the answers, heart, but I'm not leaving you alone in this. That's what real love looks like. Showing up when it's inconvenient, staying when it's uncomfortable, heart, asking questions when it would be easier to ignore. That's what separates people who say, I love you, from the ones who live it. Heart, because real love doesn't disappear when things get hard. Real love grows stronger in struggle. Heart, you know how many people say, I love you, but never take the time to ask what's going on inside your heart. They think love is about attention, heart, affection, or gifts. But true love is about awareness. It's about knowing someone so well that you can sense when something's off. It's about hearing the things they don't say. Because when you love someone, you learn their silence, you understand their sighs, and you care enough to lean in. That's what "are you okay" really means. It means, I notice the change in your energy. It means, heart, you don't seem like yourself, and I care enough to ask. And sometimes that's all it takes for someone to open up, heart. Because most people don't want someone to fix them. They just want to feel seen, heart. They just want someone to notice their pain without being asked to explain it, heart. And then comes, what can I do to help? That's the moment where love stops being a feeling and becomes a choice. Because love at its core is about service. It's about showing up even when you don't have to. When someone asks that question, they're saying, heart, your well-being matters to me more than my comfort. And that's rare. See, heart, a person who truly loves you doesn't just love the version of you that's easy to be around. They love the version of you that's quiet, distant, heart, emotional, uncertain. They don't get scared by your storms. They bring calm to them. They don't avoid your bad days. They walk with you through them. Heart, that's what those two questions represent, consistency and compassion. And let me tell you something, real love is built on small, consistent actions, not big, temporary ones. Anybody can show up when things are easy, but it takes real character to show up when it's hard. Hard, it takes maturity to ask, are you okay? When your partner's been quiet, instead of assuming the worst, it takes empathy to ask, heart, what can I do to help? Instead of saying, you're acting different. Because love doesn't accuse, it understands. Heart, a person who truly loves you will make you feel safe in your vulnerability. They'll make it easy for you to be honest. Because when love is real, heart, you don't have to hide your emotions. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You can just be, and they'll meet you where you are. Heart, that's what makes love healing. You ever notice how peaceful it feels when you're around someone who actually listens to you? Who doesn't just wait for their turn to talk, but really hears you? That's love in action. Love that listens is love that lasts. Heart, because it's not about having all the answers. It's about being a safe place for each other. Heart. Sometimes the people who love you the most are the ones who don't make big speeches. They just check in. They send a quiet text, heart. They look you in the eyes. They notice your tone. They might not say much, but they ask the right questions. And those two, are you okay? And what can I do to help? Those are love's truest questions. Now let me flip it for a second. If you love someone, start asking them those same questions too. Don't assume they're fine just because they're strong. The strongest people are often the ones breaking in silence. Heart, the ones who keep smiling are often the ones who need someone to ask, You could be the only person in their life who takes the time to notice. Heart. And when you ask, mean it. Don't just say it out of politeness. Say it with intention. Look them in the eyes and give them the space to be honest. That's how trust grows. Love grows where people feel safe, and people feel safe when they feel seen. You know what's crazy? I love you every day and still feel lonely because love without understanding is empty. Heart. But when someone looks at you with real concern and asks those two questions, you suddenly feel connected again. Because love at its highest form, heart, is about empathy. It's about saying, I can feel that something's off and I care enough to ask. That's why those two questions are sacred. Heart. They don't come from the mind. They come from the heart. They come from a place of connection, awareness, and care. Heart, they're the foundation of emotional intimacy because intimacy isn't about touch. It's about understanding. Heart. It's about knowing what your partner needs before they have to say it. A person who truly loves, you will never ignore your pain. Heart. They won't walk away when things get heavy. They won't change the subject when you try to open up. They'll stay. They'll listen. They'll ask. Heart. They'll help. That's love. And sometimes, heart, what can I do to help? Doesn't mean fixing the situation. It means doing small things that remind you you're not alone. Heart. Maybe it's making you a meal, giving you space, holding your hand, or just sitting beside you quietly, because love isn't always loud. Sometimes heart love whispers, sometimes love just shows up. We live in a time where people confuse attention for affection. Heart, just because someone texts you doesn't mean they care about your heart. Just because someone's around doesn't mean they understand you. Heart. But the person who truly loves you, they'll go deeper. They'll ask what nobody else asks. They'll care about what nobody else notices. Heart. And that's how you'll know, because love is not proven in grand gestures. Heart. It's proven in those quiet moments, the nights when you're too tired to talk, but they stay anyway. Heart. The days when you're off your game, but they don't complain. The moments when they see your flaws, but choose your heart anyway. Heart. That's love that doesn't give up. So if you've got someone like that, don't take it for granted. Appreciate them. Love them back the same way. Are you okay? And what can I do to help? They might sound simple. Heart. But they hold the power to save relationships, to heal wounds, to bring two people closer than ever before. Heart. And if you haven't found someone like that yet, don't settle for less. Don't chase the kind of love that only shows up when it's easy. Heart, wait for the one who asks the hard questions. Wait for the one who checks on your soul. Wait for the one who doesn't just want to be with you, but wants to understand you. Because that's where real love lies. In the quiet spaces, in the gentle questions, in the consistent care. Heart. Because when a person truly loves you, they'll make sure your heart is okay before they worry about their own comfort. Heart. They'll make sure you feel supported before they rest easy. They'll ask, are you okay? Even when you say you're fine. Heart. Because they can feel when you're not. They'll ask, what can I do to help? Not because they feel obligated. Heart. But because they want to ease your load. That's love. Real, deep, steady love. And I'm telling you right now, heart, when you find that kind of love, hold it tight, protect it. Because in a world full of people who only care about what they can take, heart, finding someone who genuinely wants to give is rare. Someone who doesn't just want to love you for your good days, heart, but wants to stand with you through your hard ones, that's gold. That's the kind of love that makes you better. Heart, the kind of love that doesn't just make you feel wanted, but makes you feel safe. The kind of love that doesn't just ask about your day, heart, but cares about your peace. And the kind of love that asks, heart, are you okay? And what can I do to help over and over? Because they actually mean it. Because at the end of the day, love isn't a mystery. It's not hard to recognize when it's real. You'll know it by the consistency, by the compassion, by the care. Heart. You'll know it by the way they check on you, the way they show up, the way they ask those two simple questions that say, heart, without a doubt, you matter to me. A conclusion, so let me wrap this up like this. When someone truly loves you, Heart, they don't just tell you they love you, they show it in the simplest, most powerful ways. Real love isn't proven through promises or fancy words. Heart. It's proven through presence, through concern. Heart. Through those two questions that say more than 1,000 I love yous ever could. Are you okay? And what can I do to help? Because those two questions come from a place of selflessness. Heart. From a heart that's paying attention. A person who loves you deeply wants to be a part of your peace, not your chaos. They don't want to control you. Heart. They want to care for you. They don't just want to be loved back. They want to make sure you feel safe enough to love freely. Heart. That's why those questions matter. Because when someone asks you if you're okay and they mean it, that's when you realize you're not walking alone. And when they follow up with, what can I do to help? That's when you understand. They're not just in your life for the good times. They're here for the journey. Heart. So never take those two questions lightly. They may sound simple, but they carry the weight of loyalty, compassion, and understanding. And if you find someone who asks them, hold on to them, respect them, and love them the same way. Heart. Because that's the kind of person who won't just touch your heart, they'll protect it.